What's up, y'all? Happy Monday. Welcome back to another episode of Chill to Action on the Call to Action Network. You know me, y'all. It's your girl, Danielle, here once again with my favorite co-host, Mr. Paul Denuzio.
It's me. It's PLD. What's going on, everybody?
That's right. And tonight we have one of our very special, one of our very favorite, the flip-flopper of the year, Mr. Billy Belford.
What? First of all, I only come on for the good shows, and we got a good one tonight.
That's right. We sure do, y'all, because tonight we have the other half of one of the dominating teams inside of the Schmo Down, the Cobra, Mr. Chant Ellison.
How doing tonight? Hi.
Whoop, 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 whoop. And thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us on this Monday night. Happy Monday to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for everyone being in here as well. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
So, Chance, we're going to go ahead and get this started. As usual, we like to ask our favorite question. What got you into the Schmo Down? Why the Schmo Down? How'd you get started, my dude?
So I was Jeremy John was the first channel, one of the first channels I subscribed to on YouTube. And I remember one year he did the U-Review Movie Awards, and I saw Mark and Christian, subscribed to them. And then I tuned in their podcast one like random day and talking about, the movie Schmo Down is coming. The 2015 tournament's gonna start like next week. So I'm like, what is this Schmo Down? And that day I binged the entirety of season 1 because I wanted to be ready for season 2. I'm just like, this is great, and I've been watching ever since.
That's amazing. Season 1 is such a, I feel like it's a sense of pride to say that you've been watching since the early seasons, because the Schmo Down really did catch on at a specific point. And really, truly, the Schmo Down really took off when anarchy started to happen.
Yeah, that's when the Schmo Down was never the same.
No, absolutely not. How did you feel when you got called up from the fan leagues, my dude?
It was a weird. I remember exactly where I was. It was Sunday morning, so like late May. I remember I woke up and I got all these like text messages, and I remember because that was the week or two after I won the family singles title, which I really wanted to win. And so I text Christian and I'm like, "Hey, thanks for watching my match." Because I heard a friend of mine sent it to him, and so I woke up one day. I had a text from it was like Robert Montano, Chris Clark, and then Christian Harloff. And the last one I read was just said, "Hey, buddy, how long would it take you to get to LA?" I'm just like, a couple hours driving. Why? I'm just like, is this what going? I think it's going. And he's like, "Yeah, how would you like to take a shot in the big leagues?" So I'm like, "Yeah, because when an opportunity like that knocks, you answer the door."
Wow.
So, originally someone said you were going. I think I heard somewhere you were going to be with Paul Oyama on a team in Anarchy.
Yeah. Well, no. That wasn't. I mean, I was going to be on the team like in family, but that was like right before I got the call. It was not going to be Paul Oyama.
Oh, okay.
You're mixing that up
right there. Okay.
I got my timeline a little mixed up there.
You did.
Well, speaking of Paul Oyama, it seems like your career has been kind of linked inextricably with him.
I mean, that inexplicably. It's just it was going to happen.
How do you feel having him up there, having beaten you to a singles championship, even though you got up
I don't feel good about it. I'll tell you that. But look, I love Paul to death. He's a really good friend of mine. It's nice. Do I wish I could have been the first to win that title? Yes. And if you look at it chronologically from our births, I was the first to win a title. But
own it. Take it.
It sucked having like that competition like so similar to me, but I do like having it in the league because I need that someone to push me into getting better.
Absolutely. Now, and you said Anarchy was is obviously the time where you came in to shine there, and Mike was playing it up like you didn't know him and all. Like how real was that? Was that one of the planned teams? I know some were planned, some were not.
That I believe was a planned team. Okay. So I remember it was like, hey, Christian texted me that morning. He was just like, "Hey, you want to be the Schmo Down?" Yes. I'm like, okay. He told me about Anarchy. I knew about Anarchy like 2 months before it even happened, and it was like 2 or 3 weeks after that. He was just like, "You want to know who your partner is?" I'm like, yeah. And then he just sends me that picture of Mike with leather jacket. He's got that super like smug smile on his face. I was like, because actually his first question was, can you play heel? I'm like, yes. I thought, oh crap, am I gonna get like Tom or Ghai or something? Like, whatever, I'll work with what I got. And then it turned out to be Mike, and it was like, oh, okay, so my involvement in this just got a whole lot bigger.
Nice.
Kind of the biggest storyline going on the entire season.
the main story of the entire season. I just got thrown in the middle of it. So. All right.
Tim Frankel, that's that Christian messaged him shortly. Said, "What do you know about this kid?" He said you were cool, and he seemed to know a lot. So it looks like maybe you owe a little bit to Tim Franco to get in the league.
I do know. I legitimately do. I owe a lot to Tim Franco. I owe a lot to the party, because they were the ones who I met at the free for all party that we had in Arizona for free for all 2. I think it was 2.
2, yes.
Yeah, it was 2. I mean, I met them. They were all really nice, and they saw how much I knew, and like they came to me after, just like, we will get, like, just stick with us, and we will get you there. And I'm just like, okay, sure, why not? Let's give it a shot. And so I really do. And plus, a lot of people I've met within the families, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for any of them. So thanks to everyone helping get me where I am.
So
were you into movie before the Schmo Down, or did the Schmo Down like spark your interest in movie trivia?
So I was just always into movies. Like I'm gonna pull that the Keanu quote. I love movies. Gosh, do I love movies. I love watching them, and I love making them. I love that quote so much.
That's a good one.
But yeah, I've always been into film my entire life.
Nice to see your Wi-Fi is unchanged in the last 2 years. Robert Parker, maybe throwing a little shade to it.
Oh, thank you, Dick. Thank you. I'm gonna punch you over a back fence, Parker. Watch your ass.
I'm sorry, sir. We do not talk smack to Mr. Robert Parker on this channel. Not in my presence.
I do.
Chances taken. He talks smack to
I'm
anybody.
here for a chance. I mean, I get arrested for child abuse, but
Wow.
That's gonna be
assault on a minor.
You gonna smack him like Bateman smacked the kid?
Ooh. Get a little low blow there. Billy's feeling a little ornery today. He got into a little bit of trouble on Twitter.
Hey,
is that right?
Trouble on Twitter. Yeah. My mortal enemy. No longer Mike Kalinowski. Mike Kalinowski is no longer my mortal enemy. I have a new mortal enemy. It's Puldul, or whatever his name is up there.
This guy?
Called the the worst person on the face of the planet. Awful.
You declared your allegiance to Shannon. Roxy noticed it. I just stirred the pot a little bit. That's how I
said Shannon was the front runner for the allegiances, which she's the front runner.
You threw your boy under the bus?
She noticed it. I just she noticed it. I just kind of brought it up again on her stream.
All right, Chance. Here's the thing, Chance. How do you feel about being under one of the biggest standout managers of this new season? Shannon has already made such a huge impact inside of this league in the tiny bit of time that she's been in there. How do you feel about Shannon being your manager going into the next season?
I think it's great. Like, I was talking to Shannon about this season way back. I knew how seriously she was going to take us. I knew how much she wanted. I knew how much she wanted to win. Like, how much she wants to win as much as me or Mike wants to win. So I think being under her tutelage is going to do wonders for us, especially because she's one of the managers that like really knows the game.
Yeah,
I just thought it was funny that like a few weeks ago, Shannon posted on I think Facebook about how like originally she was very like she didn't know if she was going to get accepted and she didn't know how she was going to fit in with the Schmo Down, and then like 2 weeks later she's like the queen of the Schmo Down. She's like everyone loves her. Everyone can't wait for the next thing she does or tweets or posts. It's so great.
Hey, Chance, your next corruption shirt. You can have it. Won't have much resale value in corruption, no doubt.
I'm not sure. I don't know we're the same size, Sam. I'll have to run in the dryer a few times, but yeah, I'll take it. I can always use a spare.
I will say with Shannon, I'm bringing up Shannon, I think this is actually I think Shannon could be extremely good for you guys because Mike tended. I think Mike had, for a long time. Mike has tended to be getting involved with the flash of it, being the head of corruption, being out in front, doing the voice, like a lot of the stuff. And I think with Shannon being able to kind of take that over in a way, it lets him concentrate on the trivia aspect and like the game aspect, in a way. And in you as well, because I know you at one point you weren't as comfortable in the mic. You've gotten better since you came up. I know that first you didn't feel as comfortable with some others, obviously.
It was also I didn't have to be super comfortable because I had at the time two of the biggest talkers in the league.
Right.
So I mean, if I wasn't great on the mic, I could get by just fine.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the rest of your fact.
No, I'm saying you're a big dude. That's what I'm saying.
It was actually great for like you and Tim to go into corruption because literally everyone else in that faction really likes to talk. So like, because especially there was Ken and Grace and Mike and Stacey Howard doesn't mind talking. Like
you need people who are quiet to make the talker stand out more.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's right.
There you go. That's true. Absolutely.
Also, there's an air of mystery when you don't talk. So you know.
Exactly.
There were a lot of questions about your sunglasses. That's always a big that comes up a lot. Like, does Chance have eyes? I think trended on Twitter for a while.
Did it? I wonder if it did. That'd be great. I would love to have it trend on Twitter at least once.
Hell, I think in the beginning of the chat, someone was asking if you're going to come on with your sunglasses or not. Of course, you would know that if you watch the Schmo Bates that happened. You did win the recent Schmo Bates.
I did win. Surprisingly, I did win.
Against Rachel Silvestrini, despite her very
public outcry by using DuckTales as a cheat.
Although Christian Harloff did say on SEN Live that he thought that Rachel should have won, but he wasn't the judge, so no points for him.
Here's my thing about what movie fights was and what Schmo Bates is and stuff like that. It's not necessarily if you're right or wrong, but it's how you argue the point.
And if you can bring up DuckTales, you obviously do at this point. That's
you win. You win.
100%.
Know your audience. That's always a good thing.
Isn't
that true at everything, though? Isn't that true at everything? Know your audience.
Know your audience.
True.
Know your audience is a good rule of thumb for anyone who's podcasting or doing any live streams. Just a heads up, y'all.
So Chance, like what? So now you've done, you did Anarchy, which was kind of like a quick end of last season. But now you've had a whole year under your belt. So what is like the high point so far for you in the Schmo Down?
That's hard because it's between two. It's getting to do Showdown Live New York or winning the titles, is because there were two such monumental moments. Like New York just had the scale. Like it was really cool to come out to like a sold out crowd, a couple hundred people, and just get in there, play new trivia, and to win in that setting was even better. But yeah, something about winning the belts is also, it's monumental for any player to win any belts. But to do it against a team that just had such the prestige of the Shire Wolves, and to know that it was their last match, it was really nuts. And to think we were this close to blowing it at the same time. We nearly Seattle Seahawks that whole match. All because I mean, it's true. But yeah, winning the belts in the way we did against that great a team, I think against any other lesser team that moment wouldn't be as special, but to do it against the Shire Wolves, that's why it's one of my favorite moments I've had in this league since I joined.
Fair enough.
It's a good moment to have as a rookie, I think. No disrespect to the Shire Wolves, and I think that just kind of is why it's such a big deal to have, because the Shire Wolves have been a team that so many people put to a really high standard.
Exactly.
And it's unfair to say that corruption didn't work hard to get to that spot and to do it.
No, I'm not saying like we didn't get respect for it. Just like a good thing of knowing about that match was like it was nice knowing no matter what we did, all eyes were not on us, so it kind of did alleviate some of the pressure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were a great team, and for their last match, they came out swinging.
Yeah. They did.
Okay.
I mean, it was a credit to them that they didn't want to like just give up the belts.
No,
They
yeah,
wanted
good
to
for them.
defend
Yeah, absolutely. That must have been a tough position to be in at all. I mean, just you were the villain either way. Like, and I mean the villain at that point. Like, not just the heel villain. It was like,
no, exactly.
damn if you do, damn if you don't, kind of thing at that point.
And, no, 100%.
It's funny, like you've only been in the Schmodown for
2 years.
not that long, but like you've had some of the most controversial matches, some of the most controversial endings. Like, obviously, you've had a lot of like Twitter feuds with people. Like,
have I had Twitter
like,
feuds?
You and Janine had a bit of a Twitter feud, I think, a little bit. Like,
did we
in New York? Like after New York,
after New York,
whose 5-point question was harder? Like, did you just slow
that.
roll her with
the?
I mean, it wasn't like a big feud. It wasn't a Mike Kalinowski level feud, but it was like. Well, you've been in like some controversial matches. You've been in like some
tell me about it.
Matches.
Yes.
Like, what was the David Russell like? What was that whole like?
I'll tell
ending
you
of
what.
that match like?
It's hard enough to go into like a match following a win. It's hard enough to be sitting across two of the all-time greats in your just second match. It's hard enough to like deal with the fact that you have tied them, but winning in the way that I did. I'm not saying we didn't deserve to win, because we absolutely did. But to win like that and to have John Roca so like legitimately pissed in my second time out.
Oh.
It was crazy. I wouldn't have done it, but my partner was just like, maybe I should just call it right here. Like, this is how it's gonna go. What?
I said, at least you didn't draft him fourth, then he might have really been mad at you.
I ain't no goddamn 4th round pick. Tom must be at your goddamn mind.
I've had 4 belts.
I ain't no 4th round.
Now a John Roca friendly podcast.
We are.
We've moved on from that. He's the greatest 4th round pick of all time.
I said he's the greatest 4th round pick of all time.
Yeah. Okay. Of all the 4th round picks in the Schmodown, John Roca is definitely the best 4th round pick.
I mean, Stacey Howard's right there, though. Like,
was she 4th round?
He's like 1A. Yeah, Stacey Howard was 4th round.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Speaking of the draft, let's talk about the draft. My first question about the draft for you is, we knew that Shannon was taking you guys, obviously, if you dropped to her. Was there any real fear that you wouldn't drop to her, like behind the scenes stuff now? Like,
not gonna lie, because I knew that there were only 2 likely candidates to take us away from Shannon. And looking back, I think Ron Burnett, out of just sheer ignorance, might have drafted us.
Yeah.
And I was really scared that he was going to. He's so many people who are uncorruptible. I literally look at him like, I'm just like, oh God, no. But I knew there was a very low likelihood of Shannon not getting us, so I felt pretty confident.
That was actually my prediction. I wanted to see Robert Meyer Burnett take you guys just to see what would happen. Watch the world burn at that point.
That would have been exactly what would have happened. The world would have burned down if RMD did it. I think there was a fair chance for Coy also taking you as well. I think
Coy is the other one. I think would have the opportunity. I didn't see him doing that because I don't think our styles. I don't think we gel for what he wanted, so that's why I was confident he wouldn't take us.
I think that the first 4 picks in the draft went, or the first 3 really, because the 4th one was a question up in the air. But I think for the most part, the first 3 picks in the draft went exactly how most people thought that they were going to go. And so I'm very glad that Shannon took y'all and kept y'all into corruption, because I have no idea what I would do as a fan if y'all were not in corruption.
Well, Billy knows very well. We did our mock draft, and I want to watch the world burn. In my mock draft, I had you guys going with RMB, and I had the family going with Shannon because I want to see Drew, Ghai, and Shannon on the same team.
Oh, I would have loved that.
Against you and Mike as
Right.
with
Facebook
R&B.
page would have burned down.
It would have been a riot inside of the Comedy Store, 100%.
So I might have been voting with my heart more than my head there, but I fully admit it on that one though. But
So
funny.
go ahead,
you've
Chance.
done a lot of live events now. What was your favorite live event?
I mean, definitely New York.
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I love that. What was that?
Someone's computer, not mine.
Okay. But I was saying I never been to New York. It's a place I always wanted to go, and to get to go there and just do what I love in front of that crowd, it was great. And that was the live event where I won. So that's my favorite.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
That's fine.
Well, you were the first person to ever win at a live event outside of LA. So
I was also the very first person to win this season, like at all.
Yeah.
The trivia.
True.
Trivia match there.
That's
That's right.
Yeah.
That just means I just realized that means either Andrew Ghai or Robert Meyer Burnett are going to be the first ones to win this season.
Yeah, this season's gonna be rough.
Andrew Ghai is going to be the first winner of this season.
We know that.
Oh my god.
I mean, yeah, but he's Robert Meyer Burnett.
That's true. There would be
Hey, he beat Jack, you know.
He did.
But he's Jack Nino.
If
If the question's not about boxing Helena, whatever the fuck that film is, then he's not gonna know it.
He has an outside chance at an Arnie Sly one, I think, here there. But
Probably.
he beat Schnepp. Dagnino beat Schnepp. I don't know how that ever happened.
Well, Dagnino scored how many points from the Manager Bowl? He actually got quite a few
Holy
points from the Manager
smokes,
Bowl.
Dagnino in the Manager Bowl was ridiculous.
He was like,
I'm pretty sure he had a mic in his ear, and Bateman was feeding him answers from just like at the draft.
I was backstage in Mike after that. Like I was like screaming out. I was like jittering, like drop dead Fred. Drop dead fucking Fred.
Oh my gosh. Emma. Oh. Sometimes that's the beauty of the Schmo Down. Sometimes you know the answer and you just can't pull it. Like,
right. Yeah.
What's your worst bad beat pull? Like the one that you knew
my worst. Ooh. The one that I knew that I didn't get?
Yeah.
I think the one, because it's tough, because I think the one that hurts the most is probably when I missed the Godfather question in against Janine, because I love the Godfather, one of my favorite films of all time, and for some reason I just completely blanked on Kay Adams' Corleone. I'm just like who the hell is Kay? I'm like, oh shit, it's one of the women, and I just said the first one that came to my mind. And I think I was like watching Creed or something the other day, so I like Talia Shear, even though it was Diane Keaton, because I didn't, and also because she got married in the movie. So I was like, oh yeah, hyphenated last name. And actually, there is one more. I was really, afterward, I was really pissed with myself that I flubbed that Singing in the Rain question in the Shire Wolves match, just because I love that movie. And for some reason, I just, whenever I try to remember the director of that film, I always go Stanley Donen. It never did once occur to me that he had a co-director. So I was like, crap. So yeah, those are the two that really, really got to me.
Okay, quick question though. Have you read the book that's based off of The Godfather?
The one by Mario Puzo? No, I have not read the book.
Okay.
Played the video game. I did that.
Ooh, I didn't know there was a video game.
Schmodown, not the book trivia.
Yeah, I don't gotta read. Only reading I gotta do is the scripts and the subtitles for foreign films.
Speaking of studying, now we're not gonna ask you about your study regimen. That's not what we do here. We don't like to get deep down into how you study or anything like that. But I have had the opportunity to hang out with you outside of Showdown stuff, and we went to go eat in this last part in LA. We were eating at a very nice restaurant, and all I can remember is Eric, Nerd Chronic, sitting there asking you questions the entire night. Like you didn't talk to any of us. All you did
that is demonstrably not true. I will not be thrown. My name will not be slandered like this. Second of all, look, your next season begins as soon as your season ends. So you got to be hitting those questions literally all the time. So
how do you feel about your study partner being in a different faction than you are?
Oh, what? Paul?
No, Eric.
He's my
Eric's
faction.
in Corruption.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did.
Did you not see the fire video that he made for Corruption?
I did.
No other team, but for Corruption.
I'm waiting for the moment where Eric has a promo.
Riley's Cantina because I've been drinking wine since 5 this afternoon.
The thing I want Eric to do with his matches, every time he's in a match, I want him to make himself look great and make his opponent look like the worst.
That's what I want to see too.
It's
like rocking promo for them, and like it just flips to their person, and like
it's got tracking lines going across it as
it's not even centered. It's like slightly to the left.
Like
staticky.
Staticky. The audio is all synced. So it's you're like watching a kung fu movie.
Wah 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 wah. Every time the mouth opens, you get this.
Telenovela cuts in halfway through the video for a split second.
I'm sorry, Eric. I'm very sorry.
You know you're professional, Eric. You'd never do such a thing, right? You'd never do such a thing.
No, he would.
He totally would. He totally would.
I hope he does.
I'm all in for that, to be honest with you.
So have you gotten a chance to talk to most of your new faction mates?
So I talked to, well, of course, Mike, Shannon. I haven't talked to Dewberry at all. So what's up to him? I didn't see him at the bars afterwards. Talked to Hoyk for a little bit. He's really interesting. Just talking to him about, because I don't know if you guys were seeing like reruns of Beat the Geeks. I did watch that when I was younger, and it was a really interesting. That was part of the other reason I got really like obsessed with trivia. But yeah, I haven't. Well, of course, Eric. Haven't talked to Laura Kelly since Spectacular. I knew that I didn't talk to her very much.
Laura Kelly.
I barely met Clea Wiggins for a little bit, and everyone else. I haven't met Bonnie, but I'm excited because I think she's cool. And yeah, everyone else I have yet to meet. Oh, I did meet Marisol in Orlando.
Right.
That's about everybody except for Rick Ramos, who I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
So.
I did meet Rick. Rick's really cool.
Is he? Okay, cool. I'm happy to see like a lot of these names. I just don't know a lot of the names, the rookie types. So I'm interested to see because last year was definitely.
I did the same thing where like I got a list of all the rookies and I started like looking into them, saying like, oh, this would be a good draft prospect or whatever I can find.
I mean, this year was definitely a influx of rookies, so it would be interesting to see if that it happens again this year with everybody coming in at this point. But that's true. I did hear that too, Mac. That Alex Mack and Mr. Hook had quite a conversation together.
They did. So. They really did. Hi, Mike. How you doing, buddy?
Alex is a very intriguing person, and she can be extremely captivating, and she can hook them in.
She can hook them in.
Real man. Speaking of interesting to me, I was one question I have to ask about.
Yes.
Spectacular.
Yes.
Obviously, Mike's match did not go the way he wanted it to go.
It did not.
That's to say it nicely, I guess. Obviously, we all were there, saw him storm out, be very upset and walk out, and Christian having to follow after, which kind of pushed you into a duty you were not ready to.
I was not ready for, nor did I want to take.
You had to get him grace yourself.
I had to, it's like everyone suddenly just like, okay, look, if you can't get Mike, you just go out there. I'm just like, I don't want it. No, please, let me do this. Because Chris is gonna see it, he's gonna get pissed. Like, I'm like, just go do it.
That would never happen.
Okay.
No.
Oh crap! Fine, I guess I have to do it. I didn't have a script. I'm just like, okay, just go out there, say, just like, hey, look, we're sick of your leadership. You're fired, and we're out. And then that's it. That's all you got to do. I couldn't even do that, right? So.
I will say it was better than the time in Houston when you came into the ring.
That time, my God!
Welcome to Chill to Action.
Look, so I'll tell the story of that because it was. I really hate what went down at this point because I was sitting in the section with my buddy Jim Green. He was a fan of the show, and I got to meet him the first time. He was really nice. Sitting in the stand for the double toasting match. At just some random point, during the end of the match, I decided to get up and go stand on the other side of the desk because I think I saw PJ and I wanted to go talk to him for a bit. And so I'm watching the post. I'm not even paying attention to what's going on around me, and I see PJ tell me, he's like, "Hey, Christian wants you to go in." It's like, wait, what? He explicitly told me I don't want you to do anything no matter what happens, even though I'm like, okay, so I'm here to chill. So I'm not gonna get any direction throughout this entire goddamn show. So Peter's like, hey, Peter and Brandon Hannah's there also. He's like, hey, I want you to go in. I see Brad. He's going like this. So I'm just like, okay, you know what? Screw it. Because that's like the universal signal for go.
Go.
So I'm just like, what the? Okay. I'm just like, okay, look. Should I have looked to you after that? Maybe. But at the same time, if you want me to do something for the show, tell me before the show.
Right.
So we don't have slip-ups like this. But here's the thing. I think it might have worked had John Roca not been such like a no, get out of here. And just roll with it. It's like improv. That's it.
Right? He's an actor.
Exactly. You're a fucking actor. Just go with it.
It was there definitely interesting. Jen Sturger looked a little confused as well at that point. I remember that. I mean, Billy
Jen Sturger looked pissed.
We're like, what exactly is going on?
What? That did lead to the epic rap battle. I don't even know what kind of battle. At the bar.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Which I don't even know who has that footage anymore. I hope it doesn't come out. But
you hope it doesn't. Okay.
I didn't even want to. I keep getting thrown in the stream match with Roca. I didn't want to do it. The first time I ever met Roca, I came in my first match. He's like, hey, get in there. No, I walk in, and then Roca, I see Roca and Christian following the camera. And he's talking shit. I'm just like, okay, I guess this is how me and John Roca, whatever. And then the bar is just like, got a camera? Go. I'm just like, God damn, fine. It gets a little tiring.
I have a conversation recorded between you and Andrew Ghai in the I do, yes, it's there somewhere on my phone in the archives. But it's about it's Andrew Ghai talking to you in Houston about how I can't remember the details of it right now, but it's something about him having a match with you at some point, and that was pretty neat. I'll send it to you.
Oh, right. I think I remember the conversation, but I sent it to me at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think most of us remember Houston, and now
I do.
Jake.
I was the only sober one there.
That's true. That's true. I was definitely not sober.
Designated driver.
You were definitely not sober.
Definitely not sober. I rarely am at these events. Like, gotta be honest.
That was when I became Papa Nuzzo, buying drinks for everyone and their brother.
Yes, I remember. Paul bought about 3 drinks that night.
He had a second mortgage on his house for that. He had
the funniest part is that
did you go to the comedy show, Ellis's comedy show, Chance in Houston?
No, because I was hanging out with my cousins who I hadn't seen for a while. So
we went to the comedy show with Papa Denuzzo up there, and it's like there's a bar that you go into, and then you go into the room. Well, we walk into the bar, and everyone's there, like Christian and Mark Riley, and all the schmoes are there.
Right.
So we all go into the comedy room to watch the show. Denuzzo has to go to the bathroom, does not come back. After the show, we walk out there. There's Papa Denuzzo just buying tequila shots for everybody who's out there.
I ran it. To be fair, I ran into Andrew Ghai and Rachel Silvestrini, and they sucked me into the conversation in like 10 tequila shots. It just kind of happened.
Classic. Get roped in. 10 tequila shots later, I can't find my pants.
No idea.
Couldn't happen to anybody.
Couldn't happen. That's true.
I can't find my pants. This is not my dog.
That old yard.
Okay, put that really quickly. So, you currently live in El Paso?
Tucson. I used to live in El Paso.
Right now, you've lived in El Paso before.
Yes.
I've lived in El Paso before. There ain't
I'm sorry.
to do in El Paso.
No, that's
There's a really nice rodeo in El Paso. If you enjoy Tejano music, there's a lot of Tejano music in El Paso. There's delicious tacos in El Paso.
There are delicious tacos in El Paso, and there's one mountain with a big star on it, and that's about it. That's about it. And you're from New Orleans, Louisiana?
No, that was my favorite because a joke. Like every time when I was in middle school, people never used to believe I was from El Paso. And so the whole joke came like, you look like you're Southern. I'm just like, okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm changing it. And I, for some reason, never changed it back. I think it's because I forgot about it.
Cajun.
I'm Cajun. I can pass. I can pass for. I've been figured out I can pass for any race I want. So I'm in that same group as The Rock or Pete. Yeah, I'm like that same group as The Rock and Pete Davidson. Like people just don't know what I am.
I think you're right about that. Actually, that's fine. Now, on whenever we do stuff for chill, I like to do a tiny bit of a deep dive, and I did see something somewhere where it says that you speak Chinese. Is that true?
I had a conversationalist version of Mandarin.
Ooh,
but this just a little bit.
Now a lot of people get confused because in our group, Billy Belford actually speaks more Spanish than I do. So
Does it?
Yeah, este gringa aquí no habla español. Qué lástima.
Por favor.
Some Latino, you are.
It's all great to me. So,
but honestly, like my brother and sister speak way better Mandarin than I do. So I'm trying to get them to give me lessons.
Where does that come from?
Yeah.
So when we all went to the same elementary school, but when they were there, they transitioned to an international school. So in addition to teaching English and Spanish, they started teaching kids Mandarin as well.
Wow.
Yeah, because they saw the importance of learning of how important the Chinese really come to our financial situation. So they wanted the kids to start having a base understanding of Chinese.
This was in El Paso, Texas?
Yes.
wow.
They barely speak English in El Paso, Texas, let alone Mandarin.
Depends on what side of town you go to.
Right?
Very true.
Juarez is literally right there. So.
Wow, what a good town that is.
Have you been to Juarez before?
I did not because I was coming up when Juarez was like the most dangerous place on the planet.
Okay, yeah. I lived in
my
6 and it was kind of right there, but like the years after were like, no go.
Yeah, my parents used to tell me about how they used to always go across the border and like party up in Mexico.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's right there, and they're like way less strict than the U.S. I was like, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never actually gone to Juarez. I've been to Puerto Vallarta, but no Juarez.
Oh, there you go.
Well, those were all of my Texas questions that I had. So.
You mentioned Texas.
Don't mess Texas.
The cinema fanatics. The cinema
horseshoe appear in the sky or something like that for they hear Texas being talked about.
Is it a cowboy hat or is it just the state map?
Star.
So, do you ride? Actually, it's funny when I went to Europe. I remember people ask me like, "Oh, you're from Texas? Do you ride your horse to school?" I'm just like, do you think that's what we do?
We don't ride horses here.
I mean, I don't ride a horse to school.
When I was a kid, I absolutely did that. That's what I thought. I thought cowboys were in Texas, and you all took your horses everywhere.
Do you know what cars are? Yes, I know what a fucking car is.
You didn't have to go to Europe to find people who assume that. You could have just gone to any East Coast city. That's basically what we think happens in Texas.
See, I didn't know that until last January. So,
Chance,
yes.
Do you know what it means to Charlie Brown your taco?
To what?
To Charlie Brown your taco. Is this just a South Texas?
Hold on, let me take a guess.
First of all,
your taco rips or it breaks or you drop it, right?
No.
What's a Charlie Brown
toast
taco?
You toast it. You just make your taco and then like a bean and cheese taco, right? You want a Charlie Brown, and then you just make your bean and cheese taco, and then you put it on the grill and you just toast the tortilla just a little bit more to make it just a little bit more crispy and a little bit more brown.
That seems like it would be like very ineffective. Because what if your stuff falls off onto the plancha? What do you do then?
Have you had a South Texas taco before? Even if a tiny bit comes out.
People Charlie Brown their tortillas, not their tacos. El taco es el tortilla y tú puedes Charlie Brown.
No, you got that all wrong. Roku wrote his dinosaur school and then to work.
Somebody streamed the other day and somebody said, "How old is Roku?" And I said 900, and I'm pretty sure they thought I was right.
How old is Roku? When Moses had to use the bathroom, he held the tablets up. That's how old he is.
Well, Jake Yakoved did say it when we talked about the new year. He hopes that these 20s is better than the last 20s that wrote through the Depression. So.
Right. Yes.
And there you go.
So,
For once, it wasn't Lucas in the chat starting the food talk. It was actually Danny. That's the thing with us now, Chance. Recently, everything in the chat, we always start talking about food somewhere. So we're all very humble.
Oh yeah.
That
happened on. Okay. I think that happened on when I was on Schmo Dates. Like we started talking about waffles, which sucks because I'm on a new diet right now, and I can't eat waffles.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I love waffles.
I do too.
I'm a Latino, but I love waffles.
Waffles are great, and I've been watching a lot of Parks and Rec too. So I'm just like, I want a waffle. I can't eat waffles right now. God, Karen, you're so stupid.
God, Karen, you're so stupid.
Nice. So. Okay, another question I have. Let's get back to Schmo Down questions for myself. We talked about this with Paul when he came in. It seems like sometimes there's a struggle between like a fan leader or a younger person who might not be in the community as much. So struggle with like there's a disconnect between you guys and like the vets, so to speak. How did that work for you? Like, was it as rough for you as it was for Paul?
It wasn't the greatest starting off, just because it is weird to just be like literally the youngest person in the studio at any given moment. So there's that disconnect, and right. It's like, but like once you get to know a competitor like as a person, then because like I talk to anybody about like what they're doing in their life. How is this? I remember I had a really good conversation with Sam about Wet Hot American Summer. I was at American History X. I'm like, I don't know what do you have to do with that film. But yeah, I saw the movie and I had a really good conversation with him about it. But yeah, it's all about and at the same time, these people I've respected for like years upon years. So it's all a matter of just like showing them that you respect them, that you admire them, and just getting to them as a person. Like, and I also found that it's easier for me to talk to someone after this is gonna sound freaking after I beat them, after I compete against them, I guess I should say. Okay. Like I really started if I beat you or compete against you in the ring, I consider you a friend. So yeah, that's when walls start coming down, ice gets broken if we haven't talked before. Like I got to know Ethan really well after our first match. My first match against Ethan Owen. Good God, help me! I never stood a chance. But yeah, so it was hard for me to build up that confidence to talk to him, but I never really had that many problems talking to, I guess, the vets of the league.
Okay, that makes sense. That's good.
Yeah, speaking of Ethan Irwin, so you've clearly had the worst luck of the draw
always
when it comes to singles tournament.
Oh yeah,
competitors, because like you've performed amazingly. I'd have to ask Frankie numbers. You have to have like the highest points scored for someone who's never won a singles tournament match, because both of your matches you scored enough that you would have probably won. I know against Bibbs this year, if you had scored that number of points, you would have won like every other match in the tournament except for that.
In that first round.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was that the highest scoring loser?
The highest scoring loser.
That's the highest. You were like the second highest scoring person. Like I think
I had a perfect game right up until I did.
Is that always the way though? Is it always the way?
I am very curious. I do want to know if I like have at the same time the highest accuracy and then the worst 3-point accuracy in singles. Or like the despairing action, like my round one is an all-time high, but I think it might be like one of the lowest when it comes to 5 points.
I mean, it's rough. I love her, but I think maybe Janine might also be there with you. Like,
yeah,
maybe
she's had some rough 5-pointers too.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one in New York. Oh, that was the one that got me because she gets. It's the.
She knew the scene.
She got the hard one.
All the trailers.
She got the tough. She got Angel.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Nightcrawler.
At the same and that scene is in Germany. Who else would it be? Wolverine.
Oh man, when she got Angel, I was like, "Oh, it's over. She's gonna win."
I thought the same thing. I'm just like, okay, no. I see they heard the question because I knew instantly. I'm just like, okay, I'm done. goddamn rom-coms. But
If you had one match you could choose to do over, which one would it be?
to do over?
Do over. You have a chance to right your wrongs and try again. Like you want to erase what happened,
Wipe the slate clean.
wipe the slate clean, and start again.
Ooh, that is a tough one. I mean, it's Bibbs isn't. I would say Bibb, but at the same time, I wouldn't have any other knowledge. I did everything right except pick the wrong 5-pointer. Paul might have been a good one. I might have. Or did I spin again? I don't remember. This is gonna sound weird because I did win this match, but I'd probably do the Inky and the Brain match again.
Ooh.
Just because I was a little disappointed with my second round performance.
Okay.
So had I would have done that again, I would have asked Mike to spin because he's become our new resident spinner. Because he had all the luck with the wheel last year. And the last wheel, not the garbage truck wheel, which I have never had a chance to spin.
So no stories.
Stacey Howard.
Yeah.
We're gonna clip this down to all of us doing our wheel impressions right there. What the fuck are they talking about?
Exactly.
How to respond to that?
Well, staying on the alternate history, so to speak, obviously you went the corruption. Now let's wipe this out. Go to the different Earth 69. We'll say for the hell of it.
Oh boy.
You can't be with Mike. What person would you have liked to have teamed up with in Anarchy?
At the time?
At the time.
Yes.
It's a tough question. I think I might have worked well with like a Dan or a Bateman, and even a Snyder. Actually, I think I might have Biz and I might have been a good team, but yeah, one of those guys or Ethan.
The confidence is strong in this one.
Right up there with all the best. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
put him with the high tiers. Get it?
You asked who I wanted, so I'm just like, yeah, I'll take any of this guy.
You're gonna want a guy.
Stock answers of like anyone would have answered.
I
John
want the
Rocco would
title.
give those same answers,
I want the belt. I know how to get it.
right?
That's true. Very true. Well, it's that time.
Okay.
I think we should move on now to the this or that. It's 50 minutes in. This or that questions. This is the time where I get to ask Chance I'll give him two options, maybe with context, maybe without. And he'll get to choose which side he wants to fall on. He can expand on it if you'd like, or he doesn't have to. It's up to him. The first one we always go with, and I'm actually kind of curious on this one for you.
Me too.
Sometimes we know, sometimes we don't know. But this one we're going to go with Team Ghai or Team Trader.
All right, I'm gonna say something really quickly right now. This might be for backstage stuff, Paul, but maybe we should start saying Team Bateman.
Nope. No.
Either way, Team Ghai or Team Trader.
Paul knows how much I hate being kicked off, but I deserve it. It's fine.
It's fitting. I'm on the same side as Danielle now because now I'm on Team Trader. It has much ring to it.
You had
All right,
one.
kick them both off, Paul.
You had one job.
God,
Billy and I, we're no longer mortal enemies.
One
We're actually
job.
agreeing on this one. Billy and I, welcome back together to Billy and I.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're on the same team. Okay.
Thanks again.
All right. Okay. We got studio events or live events?
Studio.
I will ask you to expand on that a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little nerve-wracking to be doing it from. I must say, I end up enjoying it. It's just a little. I have to like really be like on top of my game and like on top of my nerves. So in the studio I don't feel that kind of pressure. So I'll take that environment. But I'll do either if you ask me to.
Okay. All right. Very apt question in this podcast recently. Poutine or loaded fries?
My boy Dwayne, I'm on his side. Loaded fries.
Oh.
Loaded fries.
Get that Canadian shit out of my America, okay?
Wow! Woohoo!
Suck it, Brendan Meyer.
taking a shot at the kids. I'm going assaulting a minor, for Christ's sake.
He's older than me.
I know.
That much. It's gravy, y'all. Come on, gravy.
Okay. Let's see. How about this is an interesting one for me because you made your debut. Not your debut. Well, you made your debut in your geekdom last year with the.
I did.
Now let me actually ask you a question. I'll throw off the list of that for a second. That was not planned. Was that not planned? Was that kind of a fill-in thing, or was that?
Okay. So the way it was pitched to me, I was like, I had the lineup, and he's like, "Hey, you want to be in this four-way as a mystery fifth?" And it was like that weekend. So I don't know if someone dropped out. No, like, I don't think anyone dropped out because they had the lineup. And it's like, yeah, sure. And yeah, so then it's like, okay, I'm gonna be in IG in 3 days. Whoopee. So it wasn't like spur of the moment. It wasn't like, hey, you're in the studio, get in there. But it wasn't like it didn't have the planning of most matches.
Fair enough. Yeah. Do you want to dip your foot back into the Intergeekdom realm?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely coming back to IG with this season, especially because with the dungeon mounting their IG offense, I need to step up.
Okay. Well, then that leads actually next to that, which would be singles or Intergeekdom.
Singles
is still your thing. Okay. Fair enough.
As much as I love IG and all those movies and some of my favorite movies of all time, I really want that. I want the singles more than I want any other belt right now.
All right.
More the tag team belt.
Well, I've already had a tag team belt, so I'm gonna.
Okay. All right.
I want the one I haven't had yet.
Okay, fair enough. Makes sense.
All right. I have this or that. 3rd round or 4th round draft round pick.
Like which one would I want?
Yes.
What draft order am I?
Ooh, that's a good question. Draft experts, go.
What am I in the list of the draft?
You're 9th.
I'm 9th. So is it Snake?
Snake.
So I get the second to last and second pick of every other round.
Mm-hmm.
And saying 3rd or 4th implies I get an additional 3rd round pick, but I'm only trade my 7th to my 8th.
Sorry, too much for my question. I'm sorry.
I'll take the 3rd round.
I like it. 3rd round's good. Okay.
Speaking of drafts, and you appear to be a bit of a fantasy guy.
I
have a this or that. Who won the trade? Kaiser or Kate?
Probably. I mean, Kate could have won, but she didn't use her picks to her advantage. Besides, forgetting an early crack at the big hit. I was gonna say Kaiser.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right. Now, talking about the team titles again, I'm going to give you 2 teams that you have to go through for another shot at the Founding Fathers. Would you want to face Shazam, or would you want to face Who's the Boss?
Shazam.
You'd rather face Shazam?
Yes.
Now, is that because you think you can beat Shazam? Or
I think we can beat either of those teams.
Okay.
But I like the new experience, and I know more clearly the holes in Bibiani and Meyer's game. I mean, I know the hole in Riley and Bateman's game, but I feel more confident in them, especially because I haven't faced them yet before.
You don't want to avenge that loss to Who's the Boss?
Oh, I do. I definitely do, and that'll come eventually. But
because that's your worst loss in the Schmo Down. That's probably your worst loss in the Schmo Down, I think. Like,
is it? Yeah, probably.
Maybe not score wise, but like that. Like the way they played versus the way you guys played, like that was.
Yes, I agree.
That was a mauling. Like,
yeah, it's probably our worst performance as a team. That one.
Okay. Right. Since you've lived in both places, Texas or Arizona?
Am I living in my hometown?
Hold on. Time out.
Am I living in my hometown? Or can I live anywhere in Texas?
You can live anywhere in Texas. Texas or Arizona? Texas. Okay. You just saved yourself from Danny's wrath. That's good to know.
and the Cinefanatics wrath, and Shannon, I think, might have had something to say about it.
Yeah,
That's true. Oh yeah,
might have gotten traded tomorrow.
You open up your locker, see the pink slip for the.
It would have tickered across the screen at the bottom, like in the middle of this interview, like breaking news. Chance Ellison was traded to Robert Moyer Burnett.
It's like that was fast.
That would be pretty funny.
That
Something
was
like
the correct answer. Thanks.
so. Anyway, I wanted to ask you.
Paul.
Oh, no.
Damn it, Paul. This is why we don't give Paul free reign.
That's fantastic.
Indiana Jones or Han Solo?
Han Solo.
Ooh,
I like that
good
too.
one.
Most people I ask for the longest time was Indiana Jones. See this guy right here? He's saying Indiana Jones. I'm a Han Solo guy myself.
Don't get me wrong. I love Indiana Jones. I think he's a good
So do I.
character, but Han Solo. It's Han fucking Solo. Think about it. Han Solo's kid can't grow to be Jedi. Indiana Jones' kid can't grow to be Shia LaBeouf.
Just saying, Indiana Jones was never the like the wall dressing in some fat slug's pleasure palace. So
how
many
many artifacts did Indiana Jones lose to the Nazis?
That's true.
Indiana Jones beat
You did it on purpose. That's how you kill Nazis.
aliens. Not only did he fuck up Nazis, but he killed aliens.
Han Solo's
got
got aliens.
Han Solo's got the Millennium fucking Falcon.
You're right.
Indiana Jones has a whip.
And if he was in 50 Shades of Lost Arks, then it would matter. But he's not there.
Yeah, Han Solo's in no 50
Don't
Shades of
matter.
Wookiee, I'll tell you that much. So. All right.
It gets real cold in long Kessel runs.
Whatever keeps you warm. Whatever keeps you warm. This is actually from someone in the chat.
Okay.
I was going to actually ask this one myself because there's one I've been asking a lot recently. I've been pushing for something I want to watch a match. I want to see who wins, Mike Kalinowski versus Tim Franco
Bonds.
in a James Bond match.
I mean, I gotta say Mike Kalinowski.
Wow. Well, okay. You're kind of loyal. I guess.
Like that's actually Babe Ghai versus Bateman. Like that's just a given.
That's the what have you done for me lately answer.
Arguments.
It's
Tim, if you're
thanks
still
for
in the chat.
getting the Showdown, Tim, but Mike got me a belt. So
Tim, if you're still in the chat, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that, just so you know. We'll go back to that, though. I think
Tim
Tim's
and I
all
talked about
stunned right now.
We have talked about this many times. And I told him
Tim's actually
that
in your house behind you right now. He came over and
Oh, there you go.
Is that guy struggling on camera?
You know why you won't lose. He gave you the reason.
I know the reason you gave me why you won't lose. At the same time, you're gonna lose.
Wow. Well, if I keep banging this gong, eventually we'll have this happen, even if it's just exhibition. Let's just make it happen.
Right.
Okay. Here's one. Okay. Versus Oyama or teaming up with Oyama?
Which would I rather do?
Now.
Oh, now, I would say versus.
Still versus. Okay.
Because I do want if we ever teamed up, I'd want to take him down. I'd want to take him on at least one more time.
Makes sense. Even out your remind him about For Your Eyes Only.
Hey, For Your Eyes Only is a great song. Okay. Best Bond song of all time.
Wow.
I'm on that team now. I don't think that. Yeah, but I'm on that team now.
Bernard fucking Lee. No way.
Look, what kind of James Bond fan would know Bernard Lee? And not to mention, he was off his game. There was a little earthquake. There was a drought. A fan ran across the court. He was distracted. So I hear you, Tim. At the same time, we're going down.
Okay. All right. I got a couple more left here. Let's see. Whataburger or In-N-Out?
Whataburger.
his Texas card has been renewed forever.
I can't go back home if I say In-N-Out. But at the same time, it's definitely Whataburger. Like not even a question.
Okay, fair enough.
Taco Bell or Del Taco?
What was that?
Taco Bell or Del Taco?
Haven't been to either in so long, but Del Taco.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
No,
kept
I can't say this right. I can't say this right. I'm not gonna say it. Never mind.
A Pollo Loco.
No,
Or-
El Placente. I can't say it right.
Well, I guess
Taco
Shan-
Cabana.
doing everything with that. Okay, fair enough.
Thank you, Jake.
Whataburger. Whataburger.
Oh, we have it here. Suppose you guys have it there, Chance. Did you know that?
We have it here. Too. I know we have it here, but I don't. I call them fake ass Whataburgers. One of my apartment closes, which they're not supposed to do.
I live in
Whataburgers are open
Texas.
24 hours.
of the Whataburger. Thank you very much. The very original one came here. It's on every corner of the
I've been to the original Whataburger in Corpus Christi. It's great. It's 2 stories tall.
that is not technically the original, but that is Whataburger by the Bay, and it is one of the best Whataburgers in town, 100%.
Yes.
It's the only reason to go to Corpus Christi.
I always make sure to get one when I'm down south because they taste so much better from the source.
They do. Thank you very much. I don't know what we do with our cows here.
I can give you some hints.
Wow, we're going after dark at this point with this one, I think.
Okay.
This is not good. Okay.
No, it's not like that, Paul. Time out.
Tipping. What
No.
were you guys thinking?
Well, I'm just thinking what you're thinking, I think.
No.
Tipping. You guys were thinking something else?
No, I was on tipping. I knew what you were talking about. I know how dangerous that is. I saw Barnyard. I know the dangers of cow tipping.
Ooh.
I always think of
Okay. Got about 3 left on this or that, so we'll go with this one.
Okay.
Sam Jones or David O. Russell?
Okay. Here's the question. Like, is this like which one do I like more, or which flub was worse?
Your choice.
either one.
Your choice.
If it's which one I prefer, which one, actually, you know what? No, either way, the answer is Sam Jones. It's just the way. First of all, that question is poorly worded. First of all, second of all, Flash. I at least said the name right. Who gives a fuck if I can spell it? But I said the name correctly, so I got it right anyway. But for the mic, goddamn, Flash. Played by Sam Jones. He's like, what are you doing, dude? You told me not to do this like several times. Why would you do this, man? I felt
For me, that's the moment that changed all of last season.
Yeah.
Because if Mike gets that right, he beats Snyder.
Yes.
I think he beats Oyama in New York, becomes 3 belts Mike,
Yeah.
or Mikey 3 belts.
Yeah.
And then it was Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And then he has and then confidence to keep to not. I don't think he might not have lost the rest of the year because I think that moment shook him a little bit, and then everything just kind of spiraled from there. So I think that changed the entire. It's like the what if of like, what if Mike had got that right?
The worst thing about that would be any. Oh wait, but the worst, the worst thing that. What was I saying? I blew up a train of thought. Whatever.
The worst thing about Sam Jones.
The worst thing about Sam Jones is the fact that he only made 1 Flash Gordon. That's the worst part about Sam Jones.
Fair enough. Okay.
How have they not rebooted that?
They're trying. They've tried. It just might not ever get made.
Fair enough. Okay, we got
Mike
2.
Kalinowski should play Flash Gordon. That would make it come full circle.
That
Sure.
would be
If
awesome.
Mike Kalinowski played Flash Gordon.
We did have Halinowski. We did have what was the one we were going for, but Hal Jordan or Hal Gordon from Hal Jordan to Hal to Flash Gordon. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so who would? This is not. I'm trying to get you in trouble here. I think this is bigger, better heel. Mike Kalinowski or Shannon Barney?
Oh. I thought you were going to say Andrew Ghai. I was like, Mike Kalinowski.
I do. I know what you would say.
Okay, here's what I'll say. Which one split the Wildberries up?
Oh.
Shannon. Okay, so we're saying right now on this podcast that Shannon Barney's a better heel than Mike
That was a hero move.
That was a hero.
Okay, as of right now or ever?
I'm talking in general.
I think as of this is hard because as of right now with Shannon, she's a bigger heel. But Mike's got the history victory, but like as right now, I'm gonna go Shannon.
Woo! That's the beauty of this or that, y'all. There is no context behind these questions. We're just gonna ask this or that. You decide how you want to take it. Shannon Barney is the winner. Sorry, Mike.
One last question for you.
Okay.
Wait, you guys want to say, Billy? Oh, go ahead.
I have a question based on one of his answers, but go ahead.
Okay. The last one I had, you have to have a match on the Schmo Down, and you have to lose either your sunglasses or your leather jacket. Which one do you lose?
Jacket.
Stay with the sunglasses. Okay. Fair enough. Because you have to have that
you talked about getting back into the IG, and you talked about stepping up your game with Mike because the dungeon has Smets and Robert Parker. So there's a lot of people who want an IG teams division. And I think there's like that kind of sets up like going in that direction. If there was like you and Mike versus Smets and Parker in an IG tag match.
Yeah, that might be that. 20 questions deep in overtime.
I love it.
Yeah.
That'll flub eventually. There'll be something.
All right. If you're watching right now, let's get those teams in Inner Geekdom. Let's get that set up, please.
I'd love to see that. Really love to see
Me too. I would love to see that match. Oh my gosh. Let it be an exhibition match in any sort of way. I need to see Kevin Smets, Robert Parker versus Chance Ellison and Mike Kalinowski. That would be my favorite thing to watch for the whole year.
I'm pitching a lot of exhibition matches. Like I pitched for Black Schmo Down this year. I pitched Winston and Jay versus me and Dwayne. We'll be Team African American.
I love
it's gonna be great.
Very much, yes, yeah.
Which by the way, people should be thankful. Or Mike should be thankful that Dwayne wasn't in the draft because legit, if he had a pick before Shannon, he would have drafted us and let Mike sit out. He would be like, "I'm drafting you. I don't care if you're gonna pull Le'Veon Bell. You're sitting. I'm taking you."
That's what I was going to be curious because Rocha didn't say that. Rocha said if he would have drafted Mike, and he thinks that Mike would have eventually not been able to stay out. Like he would have waited Mike out, and Mike would have been just loved the game so much.
He would have caved.
He would have caved and come back through. What do you think on that?
For a 10-man roster, I think it's a calculated risk because you can spare that one spot. If it was 8, I wouldn't do it. But if it was 10, I can see the argument because I wouldn't have said I can tell you I wouldn't have said
that.
It was one of those things where like if they drafted you and Mike to trade, they would have to trade both of you because you were protected.
Yes, like
if they'd only been able to trade Mike, I think would have been an easier thing to do because then you keep you. That's an A-level player. No matter what, and then you can get something back from Mike. But when you have to trade both, like it's very hard to get the value.
But I do know Shannon had plans in motion just in case she didn't get us in the end.
Doesn't she always?
Always.
Any chance you reveal?
She's already like 10 steps ahead. I love it so much.
Any chance you reveal what that would have been?
I can't remember. I would. I can't remember.
Okay. I'm curious as like what would happen if she had.
If she wanted to take Tom and maybe like Preston and trade for them, something like that.
Good. That would have been good. All right. Fair enough. We should start asking for questions from the chat. So if you want to ask Chance or any of us questions, start typing them in the chat. Now I know we've had a couple throughout the whole night. But if you want to ask them again, that's always going to be easier for us to find them. We do have our technical person behind the scenes to help us track the questions. But as we're doing that, we should do our little plugs here, right, Danny?
Absolutely. So big shout out to Kelsey Kirkland, big part of the call to action. She's hanging out behind the scenes, making sure that we get all of your questions in. So please make sure if you submitted questions earlier before and we did not answer them in the general question asking, send them in again so Kelsey can make sure that we get to those questions. We do have a few questions on the Facebook and on the Twitter, but before we get started with those questions asking, we're going to go ahead and plug a little bit for the channel, for the Call to Action channel. Next week, make sure that you check us out every Monday on the Call to Action. Me and Paul, we will be here. All of that good stuff. Schmo Bates is taking a sabbatical for this Wednesday. They're not going to be airing on this Wednesday. It's kind of up in the air, all of that good stuff. I just want to kind of plug something really quickly off. I'm doing my own thing for a little bit. I've been trying to get my own podcast started for a little while called Watch the Book, where I analyze movies and their book adaptations and stuff like that. So you can find me on YouTube. Danielle Ramirez, go ahead and search for it, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I'm talking about books, movies, doing movie reviews, trailer reviews, different stuff like that. So you can find me there. All of that good stuff. So I just want to plug that really quickly. Paul, Billy, anything else that y'all got to plug? Go.
Okay. Well, of course, I got the Team Action Patreon, which I run for Ben and Drew. So I'd love you guys to come join the Action Army that way. We got a lot of new stuff happening. They just debuted their new show on Sunday, the new Action Guys. They had Mark Riley on. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun coming up. We got the Generals Chats, the Generals Bunker, which we get to talk to Ben and Drew before every stream. That's fun. And of course, I'll also plug my show with, there's the patreon.com/Team Action. On the Action Industries YouTube channel, myself and Call to Action's Richard Eric Jarvie, we actually have been doing our own show called Class Action, where we take either two movies, two actors, two time frames, and we put them up against each other, and we do a small review of a movie, depending on if it's a new or not. That's been a lot of fun too. We did a Star Wars one with Billy Belford recently, including ranking the entire Star Wars saga, the canon Star Wars saga. I'm sorry, Bibbs. I'm sorry, Bibbs. The canon film Star Wars live action. So it's not
the live action.
The live action release was. That's Class Action.
Don't put my name with that. They put some crappy episode 3 way too high. I was not involved in that in any way, shape, or form. Revenge of the Sith is trash.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Okay, Chance, you're losing me here. You're losing me. but that's okay. We do that every day. This week we're doing Will Smith early career versus Will Smith later career as a celebration of Bad Boys.
For life.
Bad Boys for life. Thank you. Couldn't remember what it was for a second. Bad Boys for life.
Schmo Down.
That's why I'm back here. That's why I'm So that's it. How about you, Billy? Anything to plug for you?
No, I don't have any plugs. No, I'm just here to be awesome and talk to Chance. That's it. So
you're doing a good job.
You're doing one of those things. Okay. You're doing good.
I am awesome.
So as far as also Schmo Bates will be on this week, we will give you more information as soon as we know that. But unfortunately, I do not have that information at the moment. I'm so sorry. But
we do have a special guest, right? We have a special judge, I believe. Is he judging or is he participating?
That's all you, Paul. I don't know.
We have a special guest gentleman either way. I don't want to say anything. I'm not going to say it because
I think they said judging.
Okay, judging. I believe it's judging. So,
are we plugging that other thing with like how they could possibly get stuff next weekend?
We are. Thank you so much, Belford, for putting that in there. So, also, y'all, what we're doing for New York season 7 is starting in Brooklyn. Belford will be there. Denuzio will be there. But also, what we're doing here on the Call to Action channel is we are giving away two meet and greet tickets for the New York live event. Make sure you hit us up on Twitter at Call to Action Pod. If you can name all 11, that's your hint. That's your only hint tonight, y'all. It's all 11 members, or as many as you can, of the Call to Action podcast. You can name us all. Then go ahead and send that shout out to the Call to Action Pod on Twitter. You will win a meet and greet ticket for the live event in New York. We got two of them going. We got two of them for the giveaway.
We will pick a winner. Not everyone who gets it right will win.
Not everyone. Not everyone.
Closest.
And I did get confirmation we can announce it that it's going to be Jeff Snyder on Schmo Bates judging some Action Army members. I believe it's going to be Mike and Bethany competing. So that should be a fun.
Wow, a house divided?
That's gonna be fun.
Oh man, Mike and Bethany will be in New York. That's gonna be fun to talk to them about that.
That's gonna be fun.
Oh,
and Chance,
yes.
why don't you plug your? I know that you put out a recent video from Notorious.
I did, yes.
Tell us a little bit about that and about your podcast in general, since we never got a chance to talk about it earlier.
So yeah, it's funny when I entered this whole trivia space, started in the Fan Reaction League, and we started doing teams. And this dude Russell Howell, who I was in the admin chat with, didn't really interact with much. He messaged me. He's like, "Hey, you want to be on my team?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And from there, we just became like really close friends. We always wanted to do something together. So it was like summer of 18, we finally started podcasting, and we've been doing it ever since. And we are back. Our last published episode was our top 20 performances of 2019. It was a really fun one. Our next one is going to be looking back at a 2010, a standout 2010. We were looking at Whiplash, Damien Chazelle's Whiplash.
Nice, very nice.
Good. Yeah, from that we created a YouTube channel. By the way, you can join our Facebook page. You can decide what torch you're going to post on through every week because we've watched some really bad movies. Yeah. From there, we started a YouTube channel, and we just put out our top 10 performances of the our top 10 films of 2019. I spent forever editing that shit, but it's honestly one of my favorite videos I've ever made. So, it means not much, but for the stuff I did, I'd never done anything like it before. So, go check that out on the Notorious by Chance YouTube channel. And one more I want to plug because I'm going to start getting back to that super big this year is the PWCA, the podcast without a cool acronym. So if you're a big fan of Face and Ferb like me and my co-host Robert Parker, Spider from Schmo Down, we're just going through the entire show. We hit a lull towards the end of last year, but we're going to come back more consistently this year. That's my goal this year. I'm going to be consistent with all the content I'm putting out.
Great. That's awesome news.
It's a Phineas and Ferb podcast?
I love it.
That's the one with the spy platypus, right?
Yes, that is legit one of my favorite shows of all time.
Mine too.
I've seen every episode countless times. So happy that I can watch them all again on Disney Plus.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, we got some questions that we can throw in there for everybody. This is for everybody, I guess. How is Riverdale lately? Is it still crazy as hell?
Okay, look, the first season of Riverdale is a really good look. It's a really good inversion of like a Class 50s property because we take Archie, bright, colorful lollipops, and black people aren't allowed on the sidewalks. Archie, but I think they really did a really good job updating it, changing it for a modern audience. But at the same time, it just got grabbed. At the beginning, I thought I liked it that the ratio was like 80% good, like 20% terrible. Mm-hmm. Well, now it's gradually kind of flipped to where now it's like 20% good and 80% terrible because the stuff they're doing on that show, it's like you can't make it up. Like it's ridiculous. Like they had a character building a rocket in a motel at the beginning of season 4. It's I mean, look,
the show jumped to start for me when the Sweet Life and Zach from the Sweet Life from Zach and Cody kid became the leader of a biker gang.
Oh,
I was done.
You haven't even gotten to the Killer board game, the Cult of Chad and Michael Murray.
I used to read Archie comics when I was a kid. The only comics that I ever read were Archie comics.
I remember that one. Like you go like I was at grocery stores, and Chuck Clayton was the only brother running around Riverdale.
Right there, yes. So I don't know anything about Riverdale. I don't because I don't watch the show.
It's
so a quick this or that, Betty or Veronica
from the show. Betty, Lily Reinhardt is. Oof.
All right.
You are correct, sir.
So I do have a question from our Facebook group. Make sure that if you are subscribed or liking our Facebook channel on the call to action, make sure that you get in there because we will submit your questions on this little section of it. So we have from Megan McCurley. Megan is a big fan of the show. Thank you so much, Dr. Meg.
Okay.
Question. First off, congrats on winning the Schmo Bait match last week.
Thank you.
Mentioned having previous debate experience. What was that like, and did any of those experiences help you with being in the Schmo Down?
Debate experience, not real. Well, actually, it did. I'll take that back because I did have to like research for a lot of like movie topics. So I did like inset myself to knowing a lot of trivia. So that was nice. But that's pretty much the only aspect that helps. And she said tell about my debate experience.
Yeah. Did your debate experience help with any of that? Yeah.
No, yeah, it did because the first like family I ever got involved with besides trivia was besides like trivia matches was it was like fan movie fights, which I was pretty good at because I mean fighting people about movie opinions what I do on a regular basis. So yeah, I mean it helps to where like I'm looking up stuff I need a good answer and I can like learn about new things that I didn't know about before. But other than that, yeah, it's just my study regimen works better for like picking up knowledge.
I feel like that would help a lot with challenges also, to where you can just kind of, especially with what Ben Bateman's been doing with challenges lately, just kind of using them to his advantage, and you can just kind of debate the situation to death in that.
Although I don't think you should have had that what men want question because she was not whatever she's at. She was definitely a sports agency.
Well, I mean, use your challenges because you have them, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you need it, you may as well use it. And I really kind of screwed Mike on one because I think he could have argued that Batman and Robin one that he missed, but I just told him to keep the challenge just in case. But I've started to realize it never happens where you need a challenge, you don't have one. So if you have even like a half good reason to use it. Who cares?
I think we found out that you don't have to be right when you challenge. You just have to convince the judges that you're right.
It's got to be good at bullshit, basically. You can bullshit.
That trader is good at bullshit.
Which is what debate is.
Who was the star of Top Gun? Obviously, it was William Fichtner. No, yes, it was. Go back and watch. That was William Fichtner. Go back and watch the entirety of Top Gun. It's still Tom Cruise. Where's William Fichtner? Go watch it again.
Anthony Eds is the star of Top Gun.
Anthony, how dare you?
How dare you?
He really shattered the glass ceiling on that one.
Oh, my boy Goose. How dare you? How dare you, Tim?
All right. I have another question from the Facebook group from Mr. John Mariano, big supporter of the Schmo Down, big supporter of the channel, all of that stuff. Really funny. Hi, Chance, big fan, long time caller, first time listener. Thanks, John.
Mariano.
Being thrown into the Schmo Down with Kalinowski, how quickly did you gel as a team? Were there any growing pains? When did you know this team would be one of the heavyweights of the Schmo Down?
So it is funny. A lot of people don't know this, but Mike was supposed to be paired with Mark Edward Horick initially. And
I
so
did not know that.
The thing is, like, he didn't gel well with him. And so, like, Chris, he told me about that because Paul asked him when we were having dinner once. And he was just like, Chris came in the next day, just like, I got someone for you. And yeah, I met Mike in like that July, so a few months before our first match. And yeah, we really clicked. He's a great dude. He's super nice. And we watched the match together. We got to know each other's knowledge and each other's like, what we know and how we could work together. So yeah, I think that's when I knew I'm just like, yeah, I can definitely work with this guy.
Okay. Got a question from the chat. Jack D. Manheim wants to know if you or anybody else knows how the free-for-all will be happening. Do managers get to select a certain number of competitors?
I do not. As far as I know, it's the same as every free-for-all, which I hope it is because I really I've always wanted to do a free-for-all. I think that's a good way to come full circle. Free-for-all kind of helped me get in the league. So the only thing that I play in one. I'm not sure if they're altering it all this year. But I mean, I'd be interested if it was like, your guest category is this. You want someone to tag in? Yes, tag, and then like someone else is in
like that.
So make it be fun.
I like that definitely.
I want to say on SEN Live that Christian said that the free for all is the only thing that's not going to affect the scoring for the teams, and that it's the only thing that's going to be kayfabe.
Really?
As far as like competition goes, like as far as like the order and all that, like he's still going to control the free for all.
Yeah, because he mentioned like Vince McMahon, you got to control the Rumble. You want to have
a lot of it
have,
have to do with availability too. Like not every team's going to have all their players available for the free for all because that's just how scheduling works.
And he
Plus,
always
you
saves some big.
Got to look
names
at that. If it was, that's like 90 people.
Yeah, that's
Right?
way
Gee.
too much. Yeah, too much.
Yeah.
And we found out that more people doesn't necessarily mean a better event. So
That's true. But you always have to save some people for the end of the order or whatever, because you got to have your big hitters come in, or otherwise, like that's what the crowd wants to see. That's why you saw Dan Merle, I think, at like what 27 last year. Or,
Yeah,
like,
but it was 27 out of like 48, so we still never went.
Yeah, it was something. I actually think it was later than that, but either way, you know what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Okay, I got Danny.
well, that's the thing. Is Christian said that you have to space out the like where the heavy hitters are. Because you don't want like a bunch of them in a row, and then you have a bunch of people that nobody knows. And...
We don't want a murderer's row table like we did in Free for All 1. That was insane.
My favorite moment in Showdown history.
The spirit.
My favorite moment.
That was crazy.
That was crazy.
Yes.
Go ahead, Dan.
Okay, so I have a question from the Facebook page, and I have a quick question from my own to you. You know who Kenneth Lee is?
Kenneth Lee. Yes, I do. I do know Kenneth Lee.
So he's asked quite a few questions on the Facebook page.
Of course he has.
Of course. And let me find one that I like the most.
Kenneth, don't you ask me enough questions already? God damn.
Will you ever trade in your cap for a much classier fedora or a top hat even? There are top hats in the show.
I would consider trading for a fedora.
All right, if you had to make a 5-man boy band of only Schmo Down competitors.
Oh, that's great. So I would go Bateman, Ghai, Oyama, and Makuga.
Oh, that's 4, but that's great.
Oh, I thought you said 4, including me.
Okay, there you go. Will you save the last chance? I'm just asking the question.
Next question.
Favorite or least favorite pun with your name?
Is that the next question?
No, yes, it is. It actually is. Next question.
I was gonna answer that one, but okay.
What?
Answer, go.
Oh, I want to have
It's tough. It's between it's like give me a chance, or when I tell people my name is like Chance the Rapper. I hate that fucker. I hate that guy. Fucker ruined my life. He's super talented. He's great, but fucker ruined my life.
All right.
That's how Luke Skywalker feels about Luke Skywalker. It's fine.
That's true.
Lucas. Okay, another question. Chiefs or 49ers?
Chiefs. Oh, well, okay, wait. Who do I want to win or who I think is going to win? Because I think...
It just says Chiefs or 49ers.
Okay, well, I want the Chiefs because I'm a Pittsburgh fan. I can't have the 49ers getting to 6. The Patriots already cheated their way to it, so I'm not going to have another team get there. But I like and respect the Chiefs for what they've done. I think Andy Reid's really did a great job of turning that program around. I think Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. It's all about I've said that. I said my coaches tell me this all the time, and I say it every time I see a professional football game. Defense wins games. Like the Packers lost because their defense completely blew it. They couldn't stop. They let the same dude score like 4 touchdowns. Like you can't do that and expect to win the game. So. I think it's gonna be a good match, though. But, yeah, I'm going Chiefs.
Can I just say, as a Bears fan, I'm still hurting that we traded up and picked Mitchell Trubisky when we could have had Patrick Mahomes.
You could have had Patrick. You got Patrick Mahomes. Pittsburgh could have. We had shots at Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Like we passed both of them up, which we.
I won't even talk. I'm a Redskins fan, so I'm just gonna sit over here in the corner.
But hey, at least you got. Your franchise. Not in great shape right now.
Let me tell you about the 1991 Washington Redskins football team led by Mark Rippett, Gary Clark, Art Monk.
Well, you know I'm going to bring up the 85 Bears then at that point.
Nobody remembers that. That's before Chance was born.
Hey, that was That was Super Bowl Shuffle Bears. I know Walter Payton. I know Samurai Mike.
That was Super Bowl Shuffle. Yeah, that was
Mike McMahon.
That was the
Jim
biggest
McMahon.
like flex ever because they made Super Bowl Shuffle
Before the season
like,
started.
Yes.
midway through this. Yeah,
Oh,
like
midway.
before. Like it was like
They probably
I
I think it
before
was
the
a
season
midway.
started.
They were like 7-0.
Yeah.
Then they made the Super Bowl Shuffle.
That
And
is
they
like
won.
that is
So-
like the biggest calling your shot moments I've ever
Oh,
seen a
yeah.
football team do.
We've been living on that one for a long time, and I'll still live on it.
I mean, you're cursed from that. That's what it is. Like,
Y'all
Probably.
had sweet feet then. Y'all don't got sweet feet no more.
Sweet, that's what it is. That's what it is. We got a quarterback.
and
We
Mike
never had a
Singletary
quarterback.
then too. You don't got Mike Singletary no more.
You do not.
Or
All
Richard
right,
Dent.
I do have another question from the Facebook page from
Okay.
Joseph Boros. Which rookie do you think will adapt the quickest to the lights in the Schmo Down?
That's a tough one.
Your boy Paca.
Ah,
I think Parker could because he's been so ingrained in competition for so long. Parker could. I'm trying to think of other notable rookies that got drafted. Crap, I'm drawing a blank. Oh,
Sean
Owen.
Sullivan got
Owen
drafted.
Sullivan could. I think that's his performance going to depend entirely on lights. I know he has the knowledge.
Ben
But-
Goddard got drafted, but I think there's more pressure on him than some of the other rookies just because he's on SEN Live.
agreed.
Maybe, and I think Ben Goddard's a good call for
Bagel boy.
adapting
You mean
best.
Bagel
Bagel
Boy.
bites, yeah.
Yeah, Bagel Boy. Yeah.
I'm sorry, don't talk about another
Bagel Boy.
person like that, please and thank you.
Really, Bagel boy?
He's from Texas.
Bagel
Oh, is he?
boy.
Yeah.
He's a Bagel boy.
Oh, he's a man. He's a man.
I thought I could tell there was a reason I didn't like him.
Oh,
Malcolm's Middle Earth Media. Who has the worst movie taste in the fan leagues? Kirk Kowalski, Brian Michaels, Malcolm, or Ryan Permison?
Secret op. Oh, you're on there. My bad. I gotta say like you motherfucker. No. That's tough.
All of them got bad taste, huh?
All these guys have pretty bad taste. I'm gonna go Brian. I think Brian because some of the opinions he had. I think he's a good dude, but some of the opinions he had, I'm just like, no, stop. You're not gonna give that 5 stars. You're not gonna give that a 3. No, just stop. Go home. Rethink movies.
Rethink your life.
Just rethink your life. Ryan
We all have
Permison
a
might get on
weird
there.
movie.
Ryan Permison
We all
might
have
be
our
the
weird
one if he
movie
didn't.
hills to die on.
Ryan
What-
Permison
what
might
is
have been the
your,
one
like-
if he didn't. If he used to watch so many movies.
Right.
There's a thing going around on Twitter. It's like, give me your most controversial movie opinions. What's your most
Ooh.
controversial movie opinion?
Most controversial?
Yeah,
Is it
the one that nobody else agrees with you.
I get a lot of flack for thinking Hook's a pretty bad film. I think I get that reaction every time. I think
Why did we have him on the show?
okay, I guess it's the most controversial. Yeah, I think Hook. It's funny. I actually did a argument about what Steven Spielberg film should be erased from history. I was arguing against Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I picked Hook, and I won. So I erased Hook from history, and I'm happy about that. So
my heart is totally broken right now. I'm sorry. The stars are all my friends. Run home, Jack. I can't even I would much rather I will go to bat for Crystal Skull. I don't care what anyone says. Sorry.
I know people who will. So I'm not gonna.
There are not a lot of people who will, but
There are not. The
erase
few, the proud, the defenders of Crystal Skull.
I will say I am not a hater of Crystal Skull. I allow it. Let's put it that way.
Don't listen to Paul. Paul likes every movie ever made.
That's not true.
Also, I've never heard him say anything bad about it. He likes Revenge of the Sith, for God's sake.
Revenge of the Sith is a
All right,
phenomenal
all right.
masterpiece. God damn it.
Here's the solid argument for Crystal Skull. Indiana Jones has always fought against the Nazis, and if you don't believe that the Nazis and Hitler were actually going after these weird alien artifacts, is a weird part of history that you. And so,
You see, if you don't think Hitler hunted aliens, Crystal Skull is great.
no, if you believe that Hitler hunted aliens, it's what?
What if I don't believe Hitler hunted aliens? What if I don't believe Hitler hunted aliens?
The Dan's gonna smack you upside the head. It looks like actually.
I was like, you didn't see Captain America, the first Avenger. They were like building alien weapons.
Hitler wasn't there.
It's a documentary.
That was Hydra, not the Nazis. So that doesn't count.
Also, why did neither of you like defend or argue the obvious low-hanging fruit of Bridge of Spies? Because it's really easy to erase that.
I like Bridge
No
of
one remembers
Spies.
that movie.
Granted,
You didn't
I think
like
Ryland's-
Bridge of Spies.
I like Bridge of Spies. Granted, I think I would erase it purely because Ryland stole an Oscar from Stallone. But
That's true. That's damn true.
I would not. I wouldn't erase that movie. I think it's a well-crafted film. I think there's worse. He has worse made movies that I would rather erase than Bridge of Spies.
Well, that's basically Spielberg's career in the past 10 years. It's like he makes well-crafted movies that just don't have the same
That no one
Heart.
cares about.
they don't have the same heart they had that they used to have.
They also just don't have the wow factor, a lot of very quiet, very small scale.
Which is why I'm one of the few, I guess, that actually really liked Ready Player One. At least
I did like Ready Player One. I enjoyed that film.
it was an
Ready
attempt to get
Player
him back.
One was fine. It was a moderate adaptation of the book. The only thing that saved it was that Steven Spielberg directed the movie. But other than that, if you would have put any other director inside of Ready Player One, it would not have been the movie that
I
people
think
put it up to be. I'm sorry.
I think had you put
Ernest Klein is from Texas, so no, I'm sorry.
I think had you put Edgar Wright or a Lord and Miller behind that film, it might have worked.
Because they
Just as
might
well,
have
if not
done a
better.
better adaptation than what Steven Spielberg did. The only thing that saved that movie was the Shining thing, which wasn't even in the fucking book.
Which is the worst part of the movie.
That's the best part of the film.
That's
That's the best part of the
part
film.
of the movie.
Billy Belford always has really strange opinions. I'm sorry, buddy.
Ready Player One is hot garbage. That movie is hot garbage. They
It is
puke
hot
the 80s all over the film at the
You
end of the
know-
movie.
You know, I
How
wouldn't
many
mind
80s
seeing.
references can we throw in? It's the Canto bite of movies.
It's fine.
You know who I would like to
Okay.
have seen directed in a way, in a weird way. I kind of, after seeing, it's not a name to bring up right now after Rise of Skywalker, but I'd like to see J.J. Abrams have a shot at that.
Sure.
Given like Super 8, that kind of 80s kind of nostalgia thing he had going on. He got a Spielberg light in a way, but maybe more energetic nowadays.
The only reason
I mean, that's
why it
J.J.
works
Abrams.
is because
So.
all of the references inside of the book are fucking Spielberg movies inside of the book, and that's why it worked that Spielberg did it. But
Right.
the whole don't get
War Games?
watch it.
War Games is a
am I
Spielberg movie?
One day I'm gonna do Ready Player One, and you can all hear me argue about this and talk a whole bunch of shit about this book and this movie. Okay, thank you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's
Chance,
get-
you're in the Schmo Down. Is War Games directed by Spielberg?
It is
No.
not. It is not.
It is
I
not.
was gonna say it's not. I was gonna say that's the main one of the major movies in the book.
Better.
All right, moving on to questions before we lose everybody. here. Dr.
Yeah,
Murray
before-
wants to know, wouldn't
Sorry about my
Kalinowski
outburst.
have gotten his answer wrong anyways because he said Sam Jones Jr., but the actor is actually Sam J. Jones?
I don't think he said Junior. Did he say Junior? I think he just said Sam Jones and then stopped.
Yeah, I believe that's what happened.
As the one who made that GIF and analyzed every moment of that, for my own personal edification, he did not say Junior. Definitely
Okay.
not.
Yeah, so it is.
That gif every week. He did not say Junior.
It is. He would have gotten it right had he said Sam Jones because that wasn't even the question. The answer to the question was Flash Gordon.
That's right. Absolutely. That's true. Okay.
He had just said Gordon. If he says
Wow.
Flash Gordon, Mr. Sam Jones, he wins.
Yeah,
That's
no,
true.
it's true. If he said Flash, Gordon, played by Sam Jones,
Yeah, he could have won. That's
you
absolutely
probably could
true.
have won. You probably could argue that's right.
All right. John Mariano wants to know if you had to swap yourself with one player from another team, who would it be? Consider the manager and the team.
It's tough. It's very tough. I think I would either swap myself with. I'd swap myself with either Lon Harris or whoever Ethan's partner is.
That's a good answer. I like that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
An answer that I have very conflicting feelings about, but that's okay.
Just want to throw that one up there. Thank you, Richard.
You actually would be great with Ethan because his weakness, because you're a Pixar guy, right?
I am.
Like
I'm an animation guy. I love animation.
yeah, you're an animation guy, and that's the one weakness of Ethan Irwin is animation.
It's his downfall.
So,
That's what kept it competitive between me and him.
Chance,
He did get an animation question right though recently. In one of his last matches, he got an animation question right. I was shocked.
What was it you said, Danny?
Granted, it was really easy, but
what's your
I don't remember what it was.
Billy, stop talking. Danny,
what's your favorite
Sorry.
Pixar movie?
It's the first Toy Story. I watched that movie all the time growing up. I watched it so many times my parents had to keep buying the VHS because I kept wearing it out.
The correct answer is Coco, but that's also fine.
Which is it is not Coco. It's decidedly not Coco.
It's Coco.
There are several Pixar movies better than Coco, and I love Coco.
You're an animation guy. There's been a debate on SCN Live recently. Toy Story 4 or Frozen 2?
Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4. Not
Toy
even
Story
close.
4. Suck it, Fingo.
I think had Frozen 2 not copped out at the end, it might have and been a little more focused in
What
the
do you
middle.
topped out?
That ending of that movie is such a cop out. I was just like, no, it's a movie you had me. I'm just like, it's gonna be really cool, and then it's like, nope, just kidding. It's just, I that was like my biggest like pet peeve with the film. It's completely just like set up this like really powerful ending and just cop out on it.
Because the ending was one of my favorite parts of Frozen 2.
Just kidding. I talked to the gods. We're good. We can stay. Like no.
Robert Adams is in the chat saying Ratatouille is better than Coco. He's halfway right because Ratatouille was my favorite Pixar movie until Coco came out. It's Coco, then it's Ratatouille, then it's Toy Story.
Look, again, I'm a sucker for the Hispanics as well, but Coco is. I think I was talking about Paul Oyama the other day. I was talking like I like Coco a lot, but I don't. What is the holds it back from being one of my favorite Pixar movies? And I realized is that Miguel, while likable, not very interesting. like his plight and his quest and his conflict we've seen a ton of times. Like on Hector's conflict is extremely interesting.
I mean, the hero story is always going to be the hero story. It's the same in every single fucking movie that it is. But it kind of resonates with you in a certain particular sort of way, and that's why Coco is my favorite Pixar movie. Because it was the only time that I've seen this type of representation in a major motion picture.
Right.
It was. So I will always argue that Coco is the best Pixar movie because it's the only time that they've actually branched out into this particular type of representation, other than Inside Out, which did a wonderful job at depicting mental illness in a different sort of way. So that's the only reason. So I don't think it's I don't think honestly you could tell me. For most Pixar movies, you tell me it's like my favorite Pixar movie is this, and there are like 12 to 15 acceptable answers. I'm just like, yeah, okay, I can see it. But we can all agree that Cars 2 is the least of the
Yes, Cars 2 is the worst.
I actually like The Book of Life better than Coco.
Get out.
I love The Book of Life.
The Book of Life is a great movie. It's a wonderful movie. It's a beautiful movie. I do absolutely.
Nobody loves The Book of Life.
First of all,
The Book of Life, Bridge of Spies.
why Coco takes precedence over The Book of Life is because of the music in Coco, where The Book of Life is just basically covers. But the story of The Book of Life is insanely amazing, and that was also one of the first times that I've seen that particular type of representation for a part of my culture. So The Book of Life is great. So for you to call it garbage is garbage.
I didn't say that. I just said The Book of Life is what I said. I said no one loves The Book of Life.
No one loves
Life.
That's true. Well, this is not a question.
Let's talk about Selena now.
Overrated. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
I can't help you. Chance, I can't help you.
This stream is over. We're cutting off. We're done.
I can't help you.
This has gone way too far now. My feelings are all the way hurt.
All right. I do have it's not a question, but somebody wanted me to show you something. This is going to be our original thumbnail for tonight. I want you to comment on it.
Oh boy.
Of this show tonight.
Ah, nice. Well, there's a picture. I was so young back then.
You look like Robert Parker there.
Like last week.
That was when I was how old was I? Like 12 or 13.
Well, wow.
So when you got hit the Schmo Down.
Yakavetta. If anyone doesn't know, it's Yakavetta.
Yakavetta, that's right, Yakavetta.
Big shout out to Jake. He's been doing a great job on our thumbnails and been a crucial part of the team for a long time.
Absolutely.
That's hilarious that he actually did that. He made a joke about it in our group chat earlier. And I can't believe he actually did. That's hilarious.
All right, Kelsey's got me one. Let me see, going back here.
Kelsey doing a great job in the background. Thank you so much, Kelsey, for being a part of this. We really do appreciate you, babe, so much.
Jeremy Miller says, "Chance, did you cry after the Shire Wolves match? Like everybody
No,
else did. You did not.
I did not.
Okay.
It's hard to get me to cry. Like I've never cried in a movie, ever. It's never happened.
Except for Coco.
No, not even Coco.
I'm gonna admit this right now. I like cry at every movie. I cry at commercials.
No,
I'm a sucker for crying.
And it's like a big thing in my house. I'm the only one that doesn't cry at movies. Like everyone will be watching Marley and Me, and I was the only one who's like, this is sad, but I'm not shedding any tears. And I remember another time, summer 18, we went to go see Won't You Be My Neighbor, and they gave us all tissues on the tables because we went to the draft house. And my mom straight up was my table, just like, give me those. You're not gonna need them. I was like, hey, you're right. What if I get the sniffles?
I'm sorry, did you skip the beginning of Up and you've never cried at a movie? What is going on here?
I did not cry at the beginning of Up. And that's good. It's a great opening.
The new mission is to find movies that Chance
find a movie to make me cry. Go ahead.
I did go watch Marley and Me in theaters, but it was after it had already come out. So there was literally 5 couples, the boyfriend that I was with, and 4 other couples in the movie theater. All of us at a certain point, all you heard was sniffling. Just everyone was crying.
What a romantic date night.
It's funny. I did go to see 5 Feet Apart this year, that cystic fibrosis movie, and I remember I was making noises like the Ellison. Yes, you are right. Oh, Chandler Ellison. I'm sorry. Jesus, goddamn. What was I saying?
Chandler doesn't cry.
I was sitting and I was making like noises like we were all, but she thought I was crying, but the ending of that movie is just so ridiculous. I couldn't help but laugh. So like I said,
wow.
I sound like the biggest douchebag in the
wow.
Breaking news: Chance Ellison is a sociopath.
When Bao played before The Incredibles Part 2, spoiler alert for Bao, if you haven't seen Bao, there's a part where she eats the dumplings.
I was shocked. I was like, oh, no.
I laughed out loud. I was the only person in the theater who audibly laughed.
I'm surprised you didn't cry at that.
No, I mean, if you've watched me deal with heartbreak, I deal with it by laughter. So I audibly chuckled out loud in the theater. No one else laughed, but I did.
I'm actually surprised you haven't cried already tonight, just on the podcast.
I already have. You might have. I cry every stream. The next ticket goes out to the person who can point it out.
Brave or Cars 2 the worst instead? That's what they're putting forth.
Brave is not a bad movie. I'm sorry.
No, Brave is a bad movie, but Cars 2
Brave is not a bad movie. It's not like it might be very low on the Pixar list, but it's definitely not a bad movie. I'm sorry. There's a lot of I don't know if any of y'all have mommy issues.
Is that the key to liking that movie? I gotta not go with my mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fun fact.
This is at 100%.
What do you mean now?
I should say it once I said hook is bad.
No, I said I was like, take him off. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
No, it's still actually when you said Arizona over Texas before you clarified what you meant by that.
Yeah, maybe that too.
No, he said Texas. That's what I heard. I heard Texas.
That's all she heard was Texas. That's all she...
Garth McMurray wants to clarify that when he repeated his answer, he did say Sam Jones Jr. I don't remember that, to be honest with you.
I don't know that either.
But I believe Garth is very meticulous and stuff.
Either way, yeah, either way, that's the wrong answer because the answer was Flash Gordon.
That's true, exactly. So, and yes, damn, Danny went off.
You had me talking about Mexican stuff. You had me talking about books and movies. There's no reason for me to not go off. I've had wine all day. bottle of wine is gone.
Let's go, girl. So, well, that is the end of the chat questions here. It looks like, unless I'm going to do the last second one. And Danny, you're done with the Facebook ones. You said,
yeah, we are good on Facebook. If there's anything else that we didn't get to at some point, I will make sure that we can get those answers to you on the Facebook page. So thank you again for everyone participating inside of the group on Facebook, on Twitter, and all of that good stuff. I did not get to Twitter questions. Sorry, but thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight, for sure.
All right. Well, with that being said, I guess we should probably wrap this whole thing up, shouldn't we? It's time. It's time to go at this point. So.
Chance, is there anything that you want to plug for us while you're here?
Nothing I'm plugged already. Just, check my podcast, PWCA, Podcast at the acronym, and Enjoys by Chance. Check out the Enjoys by Chance YouTube channel. We're working on a lot of great stuff this year, and watch Schmo Down. Season's gonna be a good ride.
Absolutely.
Can't wait. Paul, let us know where all of the action guys are at.
Well, I got the action guys. They're going to have Action Movie Anatomy has now moved to Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific on the Popcorn Talk Network. Like I said before, the Action Guys, it's a new show that do 2-hour type stream, is going to be on 5:30 Pacific on the Action Industries YouTube channel. There's discussion of a possible third show involving them at some point, but I can't make any more statements beyond that because honestly, I don't know. But they've mentioned something beyond that. Of course, they stream on Fridays as well. So that's where you can find all your favorite action guys. So
yeah, make sure you check out everything on our channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you click on that bell so you can get any shows that we do on this channel. We got Schmo Bates coming up this week. We got Call Live every Sunday, hanging out, and Chill to Action every Monday. So thank you all so much for coming in. Belford, is there anything else you want to plug in for us, babe?
Just follow me at Mr. Billy Belford as I continue to pledge my allegiance to Queen Shannon Barney all over Twitter. That's it. That's all I got.
Trey Roxy Stry. So
I'm doubling down. I don't care anymore. I don't care. I'm telling you. All of my moral enemies.
All right. Big shout out to Kelsey Kirkland inside of the background. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, girl. We love you and we appreciate you. For everyone on the Action Podcast, thank you so much for hanging out on this wonderful Monday night. I've had wine. I've had White Claw. We've had Chance here. Thank you so much, y'all. We really appreciate it. Come back and hang out with us next Monday. For everyone on this channel and for everyone at Action Industries, we salute
you.
Woo!